who are watching, and then we'll get started.
Hi, everybody. Annette, thank you so much for having me on the show. I've been looking forward to it. It's such an honor. I was supposed to be on last week. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you to everybody who's watching. I look forward to chatting with you, getting to know more about you as you get to know more about me. Thanks,
Okay.
Annette.
Awesome. And I know I will invite a few people. I know some have been waiting, so I'll see if they are not here. Then I'll just go ahead and invite them. But today we are going to talk about rising by lifting others. How we rise by lifting others. So I honestly, like, when I saw that phrase on your website, and I'm like, okay, what does this mean? And so please, what does that mean to you? Before I even ask you to tell us what you do, that phrase, what does it really mean to you?
Yeah, I'm sure it has a meaning to everybody that reads it. We rise by lifting others. I'm wearing the T-shirt right now.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so whenever we wear our t-shirts, people stop us on the streets all the time and want to buy them, even without knowing the reason behind the t-shirts. But with us, it's kind of a story which I'll try to cut short. So we have an annual, you know how everybody does fundraising walks or runs. So we did a unique thing. We, as Grace Villa, have a fundraising climb every year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sort of adventure, and it's usually extreme.
Mm-hmm.
We do mountains, mostly climbing mountains. The first one was climbing Mount Mohavura in Kisoro. Then last year we went all the way to Kidepo, Karamoja, and we climbed Mount Morungole.
Okay.
And what through these challenges, we're climbing, doing these extreme adventures. People fall down, people give up, but their friends don't let them. We pull each other up. And honestly, I can say personally, I wouldn't have made it up these mountains without the support that I got from people.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we're rising up the mountain by lifting each other. But that whole going through all these symbolical mountains and challenges, and what Grace Villa does is provide the lifting up for these girls. And what
Mm-hmm.
all people who support us, even I see many of you here watching today, what you do is also lift these girls up through those challenges. And they wouldn't be able to do it if they didn't have people like us and you who are here watching today to lift them up. So basically, we say we rise by lifting others. And yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And Judith, I don't know, Judith was trying to find us. I don't know if she managed to get here. Judith, we are here waiting for you. And thank you, everyone, for watching. If you can hear us very well, please let us know. And you can share this video. You can, if you like my guest and you like her toots, of course, you can click those thumbs up. Yeah, of course, we love her. We love the work that you're doing, being able to lift others. And I especially like what you shared, like when you're going up the mountain, sometimes you can't do it alone. And I'm so happy that you're able to pull each other up, and like what you're doing with the girls, like that is really incredible. I am so passionate about girls, so every time I see someone doing work with the girls, I really feel very happy, because if people hadn't lifted me up, I wouldn't be here today. So that even makes me emotional. So I'm not, but this is not an emotional call, but really thank you for what you're doing. So specifically, what kind of girls do you bring to your home? What kinds of girls do you have?
So if you read our paperwork or go on our website, it says we look after girls who are vulnerable. We say orphans, abandoned, abused, and vulnerable girls. When we first started, we had said only orphans. But as you're on the ground, I guess many of you have experienced this. Some people who actually have parents are even worse off than people who are total orphans. So that's how we expanded the criteria, and we say orphans, vulnerable, abandoned, and abused girls. So
Right.
we have the whole age range. If you come to our home, it's just like any other home. We have the little ones as young as 6 in the house, and then our two
Wow.
eldest, I know, little. Then the two eldest are in university now. So we're really, really proud. We have some university girls. Um, but in the whole program, we have even little babies. but what I'm talking about is actually living in the house. We have at maximum 24 kids, and the youngest is 6, and then the eldest 2 are in university.
Wow. Wow, wow, thank you. That is really amazing. And I know you were in North America for a long time, and most of us, we want to go to North America because that is the land, the American dream. But I see that you left the American dream and went back home. So really, what drives you, or what drove you to home to do this? Um, my guest has left a little bit. I hope she'll be able to come back. Ruthie, I think you went off camera. I think I'll be able to invite you back. But we are basically we are discussing how we rise by lifting others. And I have a special guest, Ruthie Bahika. She's live with us from Kabale, Uganda. She's doing an incredible job, work with the women, with the girls in Kabale, the vulnerable girls and those who are abused and abandoned. Hey, Ruthie, I need to invite you back. Where are you? I can't see you. That we have a little technical difficulty here. I think I have to invite you again. Your camera lost you a little bit, so I have to add you again. Let me, so yes, yeah. Um, yeah, I had lost you a little bit, and that is, yeah, I think that is a connection back home. So, but welcome. It's good to have you back. So, if you're just joining us, like I said, we're discussing how we rise by lifting others up. Ruthie is here to inspire you to say that, well, I don't know, to tell us how she does it. And I was asking her, most of us go to America to find this American dream, but I saw her doing the reverse. Like, she was living here, then she moved back to Kabale. Actually, that is my hometown. You're like maybe 10 minutes from my home. So what motivated you to do that? And like, tell us, walk us through that journey of you leaving North America, the land of dreams, and going to do that.
Hmm. Um, it, I think it's a whole bunch of. It was not one particular thing, but I guess it's a
Right.
series of events that led to my finally making this decision to come back home. Um, and I guess it would be a long story, so I'm trying to see how to cut it short. So I lived in Boston, and I was working with children. I'm a child psychologist, so that's my background.
Right.
Um, a few years before I moved back, I got involved with a group that I'm sure many of you have heard of called Invisible Children. Way in the beginning, before people really knew about it, we had a movie night at home, and people came. It was my brother and I hosting, and it's the guests who were supposed to bring in the movie. And they were Americans, and they brought in this DVD that was called The Rough Cut Invisible Children. So we watched it, and the it was about the atrocities carried out by Joseph Kony on the children in northern
Right.
Uganda. So the night commuters who had to pack up all their things every single night and walk for miles to go sleep in a safe place so that they wouldn't be abducted. But many of them were abducted, both boys
Mm-hmm.
and girls. It was this huge thing that was going on in northern Uganda. And it was really sad. But there's something about a visual. I had read about it, seen clips in the newspaper, but actually watching the movie, the DVD, really struck me. I think because I hadn't really, the visual struck me, but also the fact that it was brought to me by these Americans. And
Right.
I all these questions for me, and to be honest, I didn't know much about it. So I was very embarrassed, but also very moved. I remember we cried and all that. So we got the DVD and looked at the back and got the contacts of the people behind that DVD.
Right.
Contacted them. What can we do to be a part of your movement? It was called the Invisible Children Movement. Long story short, me and a few like a handful of other Ugandans became really active. It was my first foray into activism, and we would march on the streets of Boston, go and see our senators. Suddenly I knew the government in the US. I remember we went to DC, went to the White House, and made all sorts of noise. I remember one person saying, how come we don't know about what's happening in Uganda if you really are saying it's the longest and ongoing internal war with all these displaced people? And he said, what you need to do is make noise because that's all you can do. So, and anyway, to cut a long story short, it was a world that I liked to be in, because I saw that someone, I was young in those days, but someone young, like a group of young people who were really passionate about something, could actually make, because long story short, in the end, there was this amendment act that was signed by Obama for the disarmament of Kony, and we felt like we had actually done something. So my holidays home changed from being me going just to hang out with relatives to me going to northern Uganda sometimes, to look to help with the child soldiers who had come back. Basically, the recovery part of the journey of northern Uganda. And then I started going to different orphanages. I remember I visited one in Fort Portal, one in Ndeje, and I saw something. It was my passion. And I don't think it was a gift for me to discover what my passion was. Because many of us want to find that purpose in life, but I feel like God had given me a gift of seeing what actually made me happy. So that started the long process now of me saying it's time to move back home. So I didn't now pack up frantically everything and move home immediately. It was a process. I wanted to do it right. I wanted to come back in the right way. So I started this account for Grace Villa, started talking about it wherever I could, started with my client base in Boston, saying goodbye to people, in a way trying to make sure I didn't have an escape route as well, because it was a huge move. It was a huge move.
Right.
So 2 years later.
Think someone
Where
was, it's weird. Someone was calling my phone, and somehow we got disrupted. Yes.
You said you're from Kabale, right?
Yeah, I'm from Kabale, around Mutebile Road there.
Oh goodness.
Yes.
I can Mutebile Road if I look. So yeah.
Yes.
So that's basically the genesis of my moving back.
Right. And you talked about how that helped you to discover your passion and kind of your purpose. And the whole theme, why I do these inspirational Mondays, it's because people sometimes they feel they want to do something, but somehow they don't do it. And there's maybe no one telling them you can do it, because when most of us growing up, no one ever tells us that you're able to do it. So you talked about how that helped you to really discover your passion and your purpose. So what would you say to someone, somehow maybe they've discovered their passion, but they fear? And of course, I am going to ask you that after I know it hasn't been an easy journey for you. It must be tough. I don't even want to imagine. So what would you basically tell someone who feels this is what I want to do? Maybe I want to lift others up. Maybe I want to go and do this. But for some reason, they are not doing it because something is holding them. So what can you tell them?
Well, everybody has their own personal journey. I have people come up to me who are all guilty, saying I'm living a lavish life and I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I say, you shouldn't feel guilty. You've worked hard. You've gone to school. You've struggled. You've worked hard to live that lavish life. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And everybody has their own personal journey. And for instance, everybody decided to pack up their bags and move back to Kabale, who would be sponsoring my
Speaking of sponsoring, yes, you have to really think about, we'll talk about this at the end, but you have to think about this incredible work. I know most people want to do good, you can't go there, but you have the money. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to support these girls. So yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, you can give back in a way that is yours, your particular journey. You're an author and you write a really moving book that compels people to do something or sheds a light on something important, or a reporter or a singer, so everybody has their journey. If you actually feel like me that you want to move back home,
right,
in maybe in your home area, I would be thrilled, because we need people, the need is huge. I remember you had a program the other day talking about the women tear each other down and stuff. But I found here in Kabale, the women who are doing what I'm doing, we actually instead we build each other up, because we realize that we need each other. you know. And so I would be thrilled to even guide you at least through what I did, and see if some of what I did would actually help you. But
Right,
everybody has their own journey. For me, one thing I didn't do was rush, like, emotionally rush into it, which I was tempted to do, because
right.
yeah, it was just so beautiful and magical for me to move back home. But if I had done that, then I would instead be the one now asking people to look after me, being a burden to people at home. So, like
Right.
I systematically planned for it. I saved. I came back actually thinking I was a rich woman, which turns out I was not, because
Right.
the home is actually expensive. It's actually quite expensive, contrary to
Yeah,
what
it
people.
is actually. It is. Like when I go back home, like for holiday, whatever, you go in a supermarket, like you have this money, it's just gone. It's very, very expensive. It's not what it used to be. And we don't have gardens anymore. Like you just go and get vegetables from your garden. Like things have really changed.
Yeah, yes.
Hmm.
So it has to be something that you systematically plan. Well, it doesn't have to be, but for me, that's what worked for me. I had a book where I wrote down every note. I watched programs on that book. I was scribbling and scribbling. So I still have that book today, and it's still like a second Bible for me. Um, so someone is saying no sound.
No sound. Did they say no sound? Okay, let's see what happened to the sound. I can hear you well. No sound. Let's see. Did I touch somewhere and there's no sound here somewhere? Oh, let's see.
Dorothy, can you hear us?
See.
Oh, is my mic?
Maybe it's your microphone. Try and move
Okay,
closer. It's loud and
where's my
clear now. Like now it's loud and clear. Hi Dee, thank
mic?
you. Yeah, let me actually, as you come in, let me see what people are saying. Thank you for checking that. Oh, you can hear us. Thank you. Yeah, loud and clear. And yeah, I wanted to read one more comment, but I've lost it. I'm going to read it after. So please go ahead. Yeah.
Peter.
Oh, we
Yeah,
appreciate you. So we thank you for keeping us in tune, because we're going to go on talking and talking to ourselves. Thank
yeah,
you for watching. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, so like I guess that's pretty much my answer. Everybody has their own journey. There's no textbook, on moving back home. We had a symposium, so to speak, and in New York a few months ago, and that was the topic: moving back home, why or why not? And it was so amazing to hear everybody at that panel had a completely different story to tell. So I can only speak for myself, and
Right.
yeah, I hope what I've said helps a few.
No, it absolutely, absolutely, it helps so much. And I like what you've said about everyone having their journey. Sometimes we tend to be taken with what people are doing. You see Ruthie, you're like, oh, want to start that organization. You see someone doing like whatever, then you keep moving back and forth, thinking you're not doing enough. But I really like the way you've said everyone has their journey. So if you're watching with us this morning, I just want you to know that you have your own journey and there's something that you can do. And like Ruthie has said, it's up to you to sit and write it down. Sit and see what you're able to do, and then think about it. Look at all the possibilities, look at all the options. But everyone has something that they can do. Doesn't have to be what Ruth is doing. It doesn't have to be what Annette is doing. But as long as you find there is a void inside your heart and you feel you should be doing more, if you keep looking and asking around and searching yourself and doing self-reflection, going into different ventures, actually in different jobs, sometimes you discover what your purpose is by trying out different things. Then you discover, oh, this is not what I want to do. So if you keep on this journey, you will eventually discover what you need to be doing. So basically, don't give up. And when you discover that, just don't give up. Just go ahead and do it, because it's really possible. I bring ordinary people. These are not CNN heroes, but these are ordinary people like me and you who have been able to do incredible, incredible things. So thank you, Ruth. And maybe the other thing I wanted to talk about is, I know this journey can be tough. I know of course, this is kind of like a non-profit. I've been in that or a non-profit before. There is money, challenges, money. Sometimes it's draining. Like sometimes you get mentally drained. So how do you keep lifting those girls up even when you, I think, you need to be lifted up? Like how are you able to do it, or how do you overcome what you face in your work?
Yeah. Well, I guess you have to come up with your coping mechanisms. If you're miserable, then your home will be miserable. Um, I guess just like any other home. So with these kids, they can sense, and so I'm always trying to be positive. And if I feel myself getting drained, I quickly catch myself and try to come up with coping mechanisms. One beautiful thing is the place that I live in. Annette, I've told you this before. I love Cavale. Cavale is beautiful. You can see the sky. I don't know if you guys can see, what's behind
Yeah,
me. This
it's
is
so beautiful. Like it's really, really beautiful out there. If you haven't visited Kabale, you have to
yeah.
go to Kabale and then go to Kigezi, go to Bunyonyi. I've seen you climbing the Muhabura Mountains or Rwenzori, but that's not in
Um,
Kabale.
oh, I haven't.
But
I'm
really,
not that.
thank you for showing us this view. Like show people how beautiful Kabale can be. I think I've lost her a little bit. I'm sure but she enjoy the view. She'll be back in a minute. Um, yeah, I had lost you for a little bit. Uh, um, yeah, yeah, I'm losing you a little bit, but yeah, a little, almost. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, you can see me. Can you hear me? Hey, Ruthie. Okay. Okay. So maybe let's I know I'm actually so thankful that even the internet has allowed us to do this today. So usually, so what kind of support? I know we're going to put like you have a Facebook page, right?
Yes, I do. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
so I know you have a Facebook page, you have like what you do. So if someone wants to be involved, how can they support Grace Villa? What can they possibly do to get involved with your work?
Yeah. So all kinds of support. But you can hear me, right?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, good. So we need pretty much everything from moral support to prayers. Um, but what we really, really need is financial support. And a lot of what we get
Right,
is people also coming here and giving us their physical support. We have people come in and teach us different things. What I love is we actually get many Ugandans come and bring what they do best and spend some time with the children, and that's just invaluable. Um, School fees is something that we have to do with every one of the 215 children in our care. So you can
right.
imagine and what the beginning of term is like for us. So we have children in primary school, and we have children in high school, and we have children in university, children in
Right.
kindergarten. It's actually more expensive than primary school, I've discovered. And so the bills add up for education. The bills add up for food. One
Mm-hmm.
thing we are doing, which is great, we decided to go into agriculture as well. So we do substitute a lot. Um, we substitute with our own food. Like we have our potatoes growing right now, sweet
Oh,
potatoes.
nice.
Yeah, we have a mugusha. And so we have vegetables and stuff like that. So we try to make sure that even if we are really, really badly off financially, at least we have food that the kids can eat. People contribute sacks of rice to us. People come randomly, bring posho, beans, whatever that they have in their gardens
Right.
that they can buy for us.
Okay.
So if someone wanted to help, yeah, that's that. Those are the main things. Helping us educate these children. If someone
Right.
said, you know what, I can put aside the 300,000 that's needed per term to make sure a kid goes to primary school. or the 700,000 for a kid to go to high school, or say I want to feed a child for a whole school term, and that's about 100,000 because
Mm-hmm.
and so you can have a child and know that yes, I have this kid who is being looked after by Grace Villa, so I know for sure that they are in school, that they are being looked after even psychologically, and being put through. We have really a good sports program. We teach tailoring, we teach baking, so you know that they're getting a wholesome education. So that's one way that you can support us. Then
Right.
also hear about things that we do. Go into our Facebook page, go into our website. Please spread the word, because then that we exist, and when people know that we exist, then they come up with their own creative ways of helping us. So, and
Right.
for us, we are a prayerful family. And we know that we've been sustained by prayers from many of you out there. So that's also a really great way that you can help us. And anything that you can think of, we need ideas as well. So if you're there, Annette, and you say, like how you have your cool Mandazi business, which someone else would not have thought about. So how did you come up with that idea? So if someone came up to us and said, "Oh, you know what if you do this, and I can help you with that, and help you with this," those are wonderful ways that you can support us.
Right. Oh, yeah. And so I think actually this is now the basis of this call. Many people want to do something. If you're watching and you're wondering, how can I lift others up? I honestly believe this is one of the opportunities that you have. Personally, my parents couldn't raise my own school fees, so I was not going to go to school if people hadn't supported me. So I had sponsors, and I was lucky. I was even bright in school those days. I don't know where my wisdom went. So I earned some some scholarships, and but I am forever grateful to people who supported me and paid school fees, and especially for the girl child, if you give them an education, you're opening very many doors for them. You are opening doors, like many are abused because they don't have a profession. They have nothing really. So if you're watching this video, and it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, like if you really feel you want to lift others up, you don't know how to do it, this would be your first step to say, I am going to lift one girl up. You may not have to commit to it forever. Like, you can give whatever you're able to give, and trust me, you're going to be happy when you do that. Like, Ruthie, we really, really thank you so much for the incredible work you're doing, and we pray that God will bless those girls and they help to really become, they grow up to become like you, just like
Uh,
their mother. Really. And so usually I keep them brief. So what is the one thing you would want to tell the viewers who are watching here? What kind of inspiration, or what is the last word, one word you would want to tell them? It's really up to you.
wow, have we come to the end of the program? Yeah. Well, Grace Villa is a home. I just want people to know a bit more about us, because I think some people, if you've never heard of us, you won't know what we're doing. So we are a home. It's a sanctuary for orphans and vulnerable girls, abandoned and abused. We support them mostly through love and care and nurturing. Every one of our kids is in school, and as Annette said, that's a surefire way of breaking cycles of poverty and of that's one surefire way of breaking that cycle in families and in communities. So the home that I showed you before, this is where we live. I live here with about 24 girls at maximum, but the program, because we don't, our first course of intervention is to try to find homes for them with
Mm-hmm.
relatives. They didn't know that these relatives exist. We will find a relative and support that child in that home. But the ones who we fail to find family for, we welcome with open arms into our home. So I love what I do. Um, it I feel refreshed just by looking at these
Mm-hmm.
faces. Our kids are amazing. All they want is a chance. All they need is a chance at life, a chance at getting an education.
Right.
I often wonder, they get up so excited to go to school. I didn't get up excited to go to school every day. But these kids know that that's their guaranteed way of lifting themselves up and their families. So
Mm-hmm.
if you see children or families that are not in school or doing poorly, or just, know that that's not by design. know that they too would want to flourish and be able to help their own families. And one way that they can do that is through help like yours and mine.
Right.
So please lend a hand where you can, even if it's not with me, do it in your own special way. And
Right.
remember, giving them all this, unconditional love and everything, these children will grow up into strong, capable, successful women who are going to be the future of our nation.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I honestly don't know how to thank you, Ruth, for being here, for your time. And I know you even had to rush to the clinic and then come back here. I know it takes time, really. I really, really, really appreciate. And if you do appreciate, please show her some love. And we can only show it with those, you have those emojis. Please click them. We really love you. And I picked many things, of course, from this live, but one thing, a few things that have really stuck with me is one, in order to lift others, we have to find ourselves first. So if you're watching and you've always wanted to do good, you have to find yourself, go on this journey of finding who you are, what you need to be doing. Just like Ruthie found exactly what she wanted to do. Of course, the journey will always be challenging. I'm sure her work is challenging, but heck, because she loves it, she discovered who she truly was. That keeps her going every day. Yeah, of course, she has a support, she has family, but the whole thing is you being able to find who you truly are and then live up to your purpose. And two, if you want to lift others up, here is a great chance for you. I know someone said, I'm coming to Kabale very soon. Mutabazi Peter, if you're going to Kabale soon, please think of stopping by Grace Villa. I know it's warm. I always see them welcoming people. So go to Grace Villa. And if you don't even ever go to Kabale and you're watching, but you really want to support someone to lift a little girl up, please do contact Ruthie. You can always send her a message. You can contact me. We are going to put the page here, and then you see the amazing work they do, and then you can always reach them out. So, but above all, really, happy Monday. We are going to end it here. It's always incredible coming to you and like doing these lives, because I love you people. I love what you say. I love the comments that come into my inbox that you're being lifted. This is the only thing that we can do, but just get out there, find yourself. I bring these people to show you that ordinary people like you can really come out the shell and do exactly what they're destined to do. So you do it. Like, it really doesn't pay to live, but every time you feel that there's something deep that is missing, so you owe it to yourself. So go on this journey, discover it, and after you've done that, you'll be able to help others. Again, I can't forget, as I conclude, here we go. Thank you, Mandazi. If you haven't ordered, I am heading to the post office. I just have a few left. So Ruthie, extend our love to the girls at Grace Villa. Thank you so so much for the work you're doing. May God bless you so much.
That's you too, Annette. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Mhm.